Hi, everyone. I'm Amy,
And I'm Nicole.
and this is 9 to 5 Nightmares.
We talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
Yes, we do. And we're in the holiday season. And you know what I was thinking about this morning, Nicole? I was thinking about how we did this episode last year, and we were talking about the holiday party and how it's infamous for having
Oh,
issues of misconduct. And then I thought to myself, hey, we've been doing this now for over a year, and we didn't even
yeah.
acknowledge it, right?
It's
So
been like a year and a half.
I know, I know. And for some reason, I think it's because we didn't even talk about this on Halloween last year. Now that we get more into like the seasonality and we're talking about all of these moments where, misconduct can impact whatever you're doing with seasonality. I was like, oh, we need to take a moment and just acknowledge the fact that thank you everyone for listening to us. And, I don't want to say I hope you enjoy what we have to say because I wish we didn't have to do this podcast. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
people are people, and I think it's going to be around for a long time.
Fortunately, I feel like that's gonna be like the photo for the featured photo for next year. It's just like,
Uh, it's all cringe. All right. So, starting off with where we are for this month's episode, I'm going to like dive right into it because, oh, Cinnabon's got some Starbucks problems. So,
oh,
we talk about this a lot, how your employees are going to show up at work, how they're going to treat your customers.
yeah.
And this whole Cinnabon issue, so for those of you that don't know, a worker in Wisconsin was fired after a video was posted to TikTok showing her hurling racist slurs and doing a
Do you
whole
watch the video?
no, I didn't watch the
You
video.
haven't seen it yet? Oh my God, it is. It
And she,
is absolutely horrific. She's like screaming at people at one point. She flicks them off. She's like screaming, I'm racist. And it was absolutely horrific. And they just wanted some extra caramel, which, I'm a big caramel fan. I get that. And then to have that as the reaction, that's like going from like you ever see those like Sour Patch Kids commercials where it's like they're salty
yes.
and they're sweet and then they're like horrific. It was like full on like that. Like they just wanted like a Cinnabon, and then all of a sudden they're just like attacked by this woman. Oh, like
Well, and you know what the thing that's so interesting about this, and this is what employers need to be aware of, is this woman, okay, so she did this here. She's going to be looking for work.
yeah,
And if you're not
yeah,
screening her public online presence, and let's say you didn't know that this happened, or let's say it's 4 or 5 years from now,
yeah.
if you have someone who is blatantly saying, I'm a racist, essentially deal with it, what kind
Screaming it at your
of,
customers while they're trying to purchase product from your store in a
what
public place because usually they're in malls or something.
what kind of conversation do you have to have with that person if you're going to hire them again? What are the things that you need to understand? And, we always talk about this. I'm a big believer of second chances, of redemption and everything. But you have to have that conversation and you have to know to have that conversation because if this person gets hired in the next couple of years anywhere that's a customer facing role, even not a
Yeah.
customer facing role, this is
Yeah.
going to come up.
Yeah. Like, how is she treating her coworkers?
Mhm.
How is she treating, like, we know how she treats her customers. How does she treat her coworkers? How is she treating people every day that she meets on the street? How, like,
And this is all about safe workspaces, right? Whether it's for the customer
100%.
or
Yeah.
even the employee, right? Everybody has in their code of conduct, behaviors that are appropriate and not appropriate in the workplace. And it goes without saying, if you're going to stand up in the workplace and scream that you're a racist and treat people, poorly,
Yeah.
like, how
Yeah.
does that make a workplace psychologically safe? It doesn't. So,
No.
it's the holiday season. And we're moving on to our next wonderful, wonderful DoorDash. We've got another
Speaking
DoorDash
of
person.
safety,
We might need to have just an entire moment, a segment of this dedicated
on DoorDash.
to DoorDash or delivery people. Because
You know what?
guess
I'm a big DoorDasher. Like
so am I.
I'm a huge DoorDasher.
So am I.
And if that ever happened to me, whoo,
And the what happened was, and I don't think I understood the why. I don't know if we know the why yet. The DoorDash driver decided to spray people's food with pepper spray.
yeah. So she has since come out because she got arrested. She had to show up in court. Like this is a criminal offense with up
Oh yeah,
to,
yeah.
like I think I read somewhere like up to 10 years in jail for tampering with consumer products
Yep.
and food. The customer said that they had gotten extremely sick and violently ill, like they felt burning all the way down. They were violently throwing up after eating a couple bites. Yeah, so the woman shows up to court and says, "Oh, I was spraying a spider that was on the bag." And it was like, but then tell the customer they can't eat the food and facilitate the customer service process. Don't like drop it off and let them eat it.
You know, Amy wasn't born yesterday.
You
And
were born on a day, but it wasn't
it
yesterday.
wasn't yesterday. And I hate to say it, but that might be the claim, but that sounds like a little bit of a light claim of why I did what I did. And I'm sure we'll never know. People are
Yeah.
strange, but if a number one, you're spraying a spider and you're spraying food with a chemical, and there's no like thought process to say, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea, or maybe I should tell somebody, let alone, I don't know, my usual rodent detectant, whatever, like of choice is not pepper spray. Because guess what? When you spray pepper spray like that, you're making your own self sick.
You know what? And they don't even know if it's actual pepper spray. They just assumed it was pepper spray. It
Oh,
could be something like it could like I was reading an article saying it could have been rat poisoning. It could have been something else. It was just assumed based on the video that it was pepper spray. So there's that also.
this is just why, like, it's just, I don't know. These are like those things that are just so far away from anywhere. Like, I would think, like, what are people thinking and they're not thinking? And I don't know what's going on. And our job is to say, hey, this stuff is going on. People are posting about it. And you need to be aware because no one wants to hire that driver again because whatever their reason was, there was bad judgment here. And bad
Oh
judgment
yeah.
created this whole thing. This thing went viral, right?
Oh yeah.
And now DoorDash is having a cadence of drivers now. There's a
Yeah.
drumbeat now of driver problems. And just like you and I said, like, hey, we're DoorDash customers. This makes me
Right.
a little nervous.
Well, we're gonna have to start like just designating, like we know there's a police or a military governmental one in here every week. There we know that there's like a DoorDash. Like it's gonna keep happening where there's just gonna be like a solid segment just for DoorDash drivers now.
Well, and
Of
and as you're saying that, let's get on to military and police because now we've got the
oh
Air Force making its presence
oh
and
yeah.
in a big way. So
Oh yeah.
So we had an official in the Air Force resign after anti-Muslim social media posts. So this
Yeah.
is really, really interesting because one of them was really promoting violence.
Oh,
Um,
multiple messages were. So one of them was talking about like a protest of aimed at Muslim protesters saying mount a machine gun on the vehicle, pull it was just basically like I'm not even going to read the whole post, but it was basically like shoot them dead. He said the same thing about Palestinian protesters in the UK. He said he also looped in public figures, like political figures like Elizabeth Warren, telling her to
yeah, I
kill
saw that.
yourself for the good of the tribe. Like that's just like, and then Hillary Clinton, it, feel free to exit the planet stage left. It's just like, for one, this guy was working as a high level civilian teaching people in like military members in foreign countries how to speak English. And how can you pause if you feel this way about that many groups of people, how can you possibly, like, it's a national security threat. Even the military had come out and said, listen, like, and civil rights groups were like, how can he be the responsible talking point for people in other countries when he has these level of views about people in other countries?
Well,
Like,
and
at
this
what
is
point
true
is it a
because
national security threat?
when you're promoting violence and hate
Right.
against a
Yeah.
group, this is a challenge because in your workplace, there are people that are represented of those groups that you are teaching that
Yeah.
you're doing things with. So, why would you want to take the risk of having somebody like
Right.
this who's posting these things publicly posting these things?
Yeah.
And how can someone feel safe working with this person or in the classroom with this person, especially
Right.
the level of violence he's promoting? Like, he is
Yeah.
promoting that you should go and kill people because of who they are.
Right.
So, again, it's another situation where you've got something that's gone viral. This person's
Yeah.
going to be looking for a job as an
Yeah.
employer. If
They're
you
clearly a teacher in the education, so are they going to go it to a school and try, like, are they going to go to a university? Are they going to go to a high school? Are they going to go, like, where are they going to go?
And it doesn't take long for students or other people to find this stuff.
No,
And
I mean, he resigned within 2 months of his joining, I think. So it's like within 2 months he was hired, and then all of these posts came out. I mean, we talk a lot about like the changing demographics in the workforce. Well, that's coming from the school system, and you don't think that kids are going to find that online in 5 seconds?
I
Like,
know.
get those girly FBI agents on there, and so get the mom network on there. I know my mom was a letter writer, so you bet your butt she would have written lots of letters.
Ah, oh, that's really funny. So I think what it all comes down to is bottom line, number one, since we've been doing this for the last year and a half, when Nicole and I used to do this, the cadence of it used to be less.
Yeah,
It would take us about every 8 or 9 weeks, we would see somebody who was being fired for something that they posted online. Now we went from that to every month we have multiple things, and now Nicole and I pick from what we're going
yeah,
to share with you.
yeah,
And that just is giving everyone an understanding of what is the drumbeat of this. The drumbeat of this is increasing, 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 and it's
yeah,
being driven by a couple of different things. One, the amount and volume of content people are posting, right?
yeah,
How they've incorporated living their lives online with their lives offline. There is really no
yeah.
longer a blurred moment of that. And I think a lot of
No,
this has to do with what you just said.
right.
How many adults now are digital natives and that are in the workforce? And
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know what that term is, we use it often, frequently. It's somebody who was born after the internet was the internet. And so
yeah,
they've had their life online if their parents posted pictures of them in the womb prior to even being born, which is
yeah.
the thing. So, this is something that we're not going to see change. It's something that we're going to see
No,
continue to get worse, and that's why we do what we do at Fama. And in this month, we even have something that came up against a former executive. So, you want to share a little bit
yeah.
more, Nicole, about the one that we found?
Yeah, so when we did an executive screening and found public online record of this person uh, using confidential company information for personal gain. So he was accessing company databases and then reaching out for private consulting contracts and like sharing the information online and including confidential information. And so you can't do that. That's a complete violation of almost every single employment contract on the planet.
Well, and the reason that this example I think is important to highlight is we talk a lot about behaviors that have to do with harassment, violence, threats.
Right.
We
But
don't
it's more
spend
than that.
right. We don't spend a lot of time talking about whether it's theft or if it's collusion or other things that we're seeing that you
Yeah.
cannot just make a dotted line, but a straight line to misconduct behavior that is a violation of your employee agreement that's happening. And
Right.
this is a really good case of it where somebody is using data from their
Yeah.
employer in a way that they're not supposed to. And not only are they putting it out in public, but they're also profiting off of it.
Yeah.
And and these are things that, we talk a lot about how we screen candidates. We also screen current employees too for this kind of thing, and also
Yeah.
to look for the harassment and those things you can kind of catch it first. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that this is just really I would say it puts a really interesting footnote on the entire year for us as we see all
Yeah.
of this increase. We see different kinds of insider threats that are being
Yeah.
revealed, whether it's in the pre-employment screening, then you have to ask yourself, what's going on with this person? Is it someone I want to bring into the workplace? And, now more than ever, who you hire
Yeah.
is probably in a lot of ways more important than what you pay them, what their skills are,
Yeah.
because if they behave in this way, the cost to your organization is significant, absolutely
Yeah.
significant. So,
Yeah.
those are my final parting thoughts on this year of our 9 Nightmares podcast. Looking forward to seeing everybody in the new year. I'd love to say maybe we'll see the behavior decrease, but I know it's not the case.
Wouldn't we all, Amy? It would be so great if you and I could just, misconduct would stop. We could quit our jobs, move to an island somewhere, drink margaritas on the.
Well, I mean, we do live in Florida, so we kind of get that like a little bit, but to be able to just be, I don't know, I think Key West would be my pick, honestly.
That's
This
your vibe.
hmm Totally. It's my Valley High. All right. Well, I wish everybody a really happy holiday season and hope you enjoy whichever holiday it is that you celebrate. And a happy new year to everybody. And we will see you all in January. So I'm Amy.
Okay. I'm Nicole, and we talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.